You have now been in Spain for some weeks, haven't you?
Yes. That's correct.
And your goal was to go down there and compete with your horses and come back to the normal situation in Denmark and with fresh horses, but it didn't go so.
No, I think that the reason many people go to these tours that we have in south of Europe is to be able to prepare the horses in a good way for the upcoming season, even the young ones and the older ones. And also a way for us that's working with the horses to make new connections with new people and also to reach bigger international market with our horses. So it's a very important and big part in our jobs.
And this we will come into this virus you have now been facing down there. And can you tell me a little bit about how did you when did you notice this?
I'd say we realized that there was something wrong because we saw the vets was running around and was very busy all the time.
Yeah.
But it occurred to us Saturday afternoon, right?
I would say that the first horses start to come in sick on Saturday afternoon. And then you also have to take in consideration that on an event like this, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of horses, and it's very easy that a rumor spreads that it's not 200% correct. So what a lot of us, it's always get that some people maybe leave in panic and doesn't really consider the choice they made. We that stayed, we try to take everything reason with each other and also listen to the vets. And as all the vets said the same thing, that in case this is an emergency, the best thing you can do is to stay in spot, because after all, what we want to do is to put the health of our horses as number one.
Of
and
course.
To travel them with horses that may or not may be sick, that's a very big risk, and we don't want any spreading of a virus to happen in Europe as well.
So how many horses was it at the stables at the time that this virus was noticed down there?
The full amount of horses that was on the show, I cannot say. If it was 400, 500 or 600, that is nothing I can give an exact number on. But we're not allowed to leave anymore. Then we had 153 horses at the show area.
Yeah. But how many horses do you have with you down there?
I have 5 horses myself. 3 is still on the show area and 2 I have in the clinic.
And we as a team have 12 horses here from our stable, and 1 is unfortunately dead. And we have 3 in the clinic and 5 sick ones.
I think the first couple of days, the feelings and our experience here, we will never really be able to make someone that wasn't here understand, because it's a mix between the horror and how scared we get as person, but also for our horses, that when you see other horses that get so sick and it's a virus, so there is no medication that you give some medication or injection and that helps against the disease. That is not how a virus works.
Yeah.
So, and also this kind of virus was very aggressive, and they had a very big spreading in the stables. So the vets also had to learn after each case how to treat the horses.
Was it enough vets at the area down there?
We have had vets coming in from FEI and from all different parts of Europe. So for the moment, there's a very big vet team working, and they do everything to also find how the virus is acting and trying to catch up with it and get in front of it instead of getting behind of it.
A lot of people have traveled home, and people say that the virus is now in Sweden and Germany and Belgium. Do you know anything about that?
There's a lot of rumors coming in, and it's a little bit hard to say what is confirmed and not confirmed, but we, from our experience here, can say is that if you get home or if you're home with your horses, then I think the best thing you can do is to stay on the site you're at and try to get all the medical help, and also listen to the vets that have been here and seen what is happening with the virus, and also talk with people on site and get each tips on what you're going to look after for, what you can assume the horses will change in their behavior. So as soon as you can see a change in your horse, as soon as also you can get it to a clinic or you can get it treated, and I think that will put the horse's health in the best way.
So I think there's absolutely some things to work on and learn from this experience. Like, for example, in Denmark and Germany, we don't have to report it if we have this herpes coming in our stable. And I think that's absolutely something that we have to learn from, and it has to be reported so that we don't come in this situation again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is something we all agreed on here, that virus outbreak will happen in the future, and we need these shows for a lot of horses and a lot of people to be able to develop the sport and develop our companies. But next time a virus outbreak like this happens, everybody has to be better prepared. The OC, the FAI, the riders, the grooms, everybody has to a little bit more know how we're going to act and prepare for that. So the next time won't be this many casualties as it became here.
And also, for example, our stables is one big tent. We had all the horses here. There was some permanent stable, but there was not so many horses. Mainly all the horses was in this big tent. So that's also something that people have to learn from, that you cannot put all horses together.
No. So all the horses was in one tent?
Yes, and it took, I think, 10 days before, 10 days, right? Or maybe more?
Yes.
I think it took like 10, 12 days before we could separate the healthy horses from the sick horses here. So a lot of horses got sick that was not, that could have been still.
There's a lot of people trying to help. Is it something people you need down there? Is it need for some food, or is it some medications, or is it something that people around the world or Europe can help you with down there?
What we have said is that there have been a lot of charities, and people are giving everything from disinfection to hay and to shaving and all these material things we need. And for now, we said that we will wait 1 week now and see all the things that start to coming in from private person and from companies. And also we have a lot of charities who's collecting money. And I think what we have to prepare for, and what we also want with the riders on site, we would like to somehow make this money to go to one account, and from there be divided over the different horses to pay for the big vet bills that will come after this, because the vets have been working day and night 24/7 and done everything they can to save our horses' lives. So this is also expand that I think many of the horse owners didn't count on, of course, because nobody could see it coming. So this is something we are working on to help each horse owner with each horse and see how we can help them to maybe not pay everything, but to give them something to help with the bills. If everything goes right with the PCR test and so on, the horses that have been isolated and haven't showed any symptom or diseases on PCR test and fever and so on, then they will be able to leave on Wednesday next week. And for the other horses here, how long we will stay here is not the big concern. We want to get home with as many of our horses as possible and do it in the way that the horses also, that after we have our days counted from the get healthy, it's also very important that we don't travel with a horse that is weak, because it's a long journey for us. So if we stay 1 month or 2 months, that's not a big issue. We just want to get home with our horses and make them as sound as possible.
And we have our state vets in each country will work on the way we can go home. And World of Show Jumping is also helping us to put up stables that we stay over in. So that it's only our horses in the stable. So we are not coming into any private stables.
It's a lot of rumors about how many horses that has died down there. Do you know anything about that?
I think it's very hard for us to say exactly how many horses have died. We have all seen horses die here, and there's a lot of horses that have went to the clinics that is close by. So that's a very hard thing to say, and I think that after this hell hopefully is over, there will be investigations, and I think it's better to stick with that and see exactly the amount of horses that those will come up with.
I totally agree, because this situation makes a lot of rumors going on, and it's very dangerous to listen to everything. And is it some place that you can go and update yourself on the situation?
We have I'm the representative from all the riders and all the teams down here. So I talk with OC, FEI, and the community down here every day. And the vets, of course, is within this meeting. And then 11 o'clock, we have a briefing where I go over each in different subjects with everything from how to stay as clean as possible in the stable to what is happening with the horses and the vet situation with the horses, and small matters like we had everyone on site COVID tested yesterday, so we don't get an outreach of death as well, which then take focus away from saving the horses. So we go over each and different subjects, and also try to collect something new for the next day. If there's someone from the teams that wants help with something, or feel like their staff is getting a little bit tired and they need more staff, we also try to arrange this. So we think about the horse and also the people on site that probably will be here for a long time, and then everything has to work so people don't get tired and exhausted, and that takes the focus away from the horses, and we will have a setback because of that.
Yeah. It must also be very tough to lose a horse. How is everything? Are you okay, or?
Yeah, I mean, we have still, at that time, everything was one big chaos, and there were so many sick horses. So we were all just trying to help where we could, and you sort of work it away, if you can say it like that. Yeah. But for sure, it's still, I don't think it was an easy situation for anyone to stand in, because it was nasty.
So far, I haven't lost a horse, and we pray every day that it will stay like that. But this is far from over. We are only in the beginning, and yeah, we hope we get everything under control. But I think it's very important also for people to understand that this virus is very aggressive, and it's a little bit of a new form. I'm not a veterinary expert, but it's a new form of EHV1 virus. And the tests that you take on PCR and different samples, they always come back a little bit different. So that means that even if you get a horse and you take a PCR and it shows that this horse is negative, then don't go away with a horse and believe that, because we have horses in the hospital and we have horses in the permanent that have been showing no symptom, for example, but they are positive, and we have horses that is very sick, but when they take a PCR test on the horse, then it's negative. So the virus is cheating the vets in a way that they are working every day and every night about finding out why and how to prevent this and how to get correct answers on the test we take.
I think that I'm pretty sure that all the horses that died here was PCR negative. And that's why it was also hard for us in the beginning to know how to go on with it, like how to treat it and what the best thing was to do for the horses.
Yeah, because it's nothing that you can do, is it? That no.
You can pray.
Yeah.
You pray, and you make sure that you see the symptoms as soon as possible. And then what the vet do here, we give them fluid and we get them medication to get the fever down, and we try to get the horses as sound as possible so they also themselves can fight the virus.
What is the first signal you're looking for then on the horses? What should people look at when they have...
The first thing we trying to find is if the horse gets fever. because that's what we have learned here is the first sign. And then we're counting that from the highest fever, the day the horse have the highest fever, you have 10 days where the horse can get the neurologic cause, the neurologic disease. For example, my mare that went to the hospital 2 days ago, she had 7 days ago, she had her highest point of fever, and she had been 5 days without any symptom and 5 days without any fever. And then on day 7, then from the highest fever day, so it was on day 8, if we count in the end of each day, then she got her neurologic disease and went to the hospital. So you can't relax until this 10 days is counted, and then of course you have to continue to be very careful with the horses the next couple of days.
And it's also hard to know how much fever they have because they get fever reduced medicine all the time.
Yeah.
Because the fever cannot be too high.
Oh my God.
And like mine was just 5 days with fever that died.
Yeah. Is it some of the horses that has got this virus? Is some of them now fine and okay?
Yes.
There's a lot of horses that is fine escape. To speak about our own experience, I have 3 horses here on site. They have all been sick, and some with positive PCR and some with negative, but they have all been sick, and they are all recovering. And one of the horses goes in day 10 today, and the other ones are on day 7 and day 6 from the highest fever. So hopefully they will continue to recover. And then we have also, when that recovery is done, we also have to think about the horse's wealth, that they have to get strong and they have to come back. It's like when you self-face, if you're sick and lying at home in a bed for 2-3 weeks, you can't go out and travel the world after that. You have to get wealthy, and you have to get your health back and these kind of things. So it's a little bit more complicated than just getting rid of the virus and then everything is fine.
Yeah.
I don't have any horses that are without medication yet.
You don't? Everybody is
No.
on everybody is on medication. Oh.
Yeah, this is something the vets here on site learned, that the first horses that died, they when the fever went down and the horses had no symptom, then of course you don't want to give a horse a medication if you don't need to. So then of course you maybe slow down with the medications, and then a couple of days later the neurologic part hits. So this is also something all over to keep in mind with their horses, because as more the virus spread, as more experience from this place people will need, so we can save as many lives as possible.
Yeah.
Between the riders, we are really sticking together. We are really helping each other, and we are coming up with solutions, and everyone puts a hat on and say, I do this, I do that. I mean, everyone helps everyone. It's amazing what a teamwork we can get here.
Yeah.
That's something we will hopefully never see again.
Hopefully.
But it warms up my heart that we can do it like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't keep you longer. I think maybe if it's okay, maybe I can come back to you for a couple of days and get a new status down there.
Yeah, we can do that. No problem.
Take care. And
thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye. And thank you for catching up with us and here in Norway. We are very curious about how the situation is down there. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.